do this live. Actually, I was trying to pre-record this. I was supposed to place this in my YouTube channel, but I looked at the what I recorded and it was a hot mess. I was like, this is not going to be very useful for y'all. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to do this live. And so my mom was calling me, so I better put this on Do Not Disturb for an hour. Well, I'm live streaming. If you're joining me and you can see me, I have no idea. This is supposed to be streaming just in my Facebook group. I don't think that that's happening, but nonetheless, it's okay because this was going to go on YouTube anyways. And I'm trying to figure out this eCam stuff to go into the back sneaky way of just live streaming in my Empower Her Wave Facebook group for my woman wellness entrepreneurs. I have a whole year planned out of like amazing content to teach you guys how to lean into AI and how to nurture you and how to welcome you and how to do all those things, how to systemize your systems, how to automate stuff so that you have more time for your family, more time for your clients, less stress, and bring in some income so that you can live the life that you actually want. And I wanted to talk about live vision boards, live digital visual vision boards. And so I did a podcast, I released it on Monday, and this was essentially the follow up for the people who are visual learners who really actually want to be like, okay, that was amazing. Thanks for the information, the science, and why you switched over to a digital vision board, but how do I do it for myself? So that was what today's intent was. And so I actually talked about this one, which is what you would probably think of when you think of a traditional vision board, where you do like old school, some people call this hippie style. It is what it is. It's where you take magazines and clippings and things like that and you glue it down and you put it in like this collage formatting. Now, this is not necessarily the vision board that we're talking about today. This was more a vision board that I created. Actually, it was a leadership seminar that I attended here in Okinawa, the Okinawa Leadership Seminar. They had like a vision board, like making thing. And I went there to really network and meet other women. Um, and I got carried away with like just more or less who I wanted to be, a vision for myself, my core values. Um, and so the funny thing that I did mention is that these are the leggings. This mermaid rash guard there is essentially the ones that I talk about in my podcast that I put on here. And like 2 years later, I own a set now. And I didn't realize it until later on. So that was the traditional one. And I've done those. I know plenty of people who still like that version of it, but I've moved on to this one, which is my digital visual vision board. Hold on. So this is my happy planner. I love my happy planner. And so this is my new vision board, if y'all can see it. And I'm going to show you the digital version so it's a little bit more clear, but it sits nicely here in my happy planner. And I look at it every day when I'm opening it up. It is the first thing that I technically see because if you listen to my podcast, the important thing with vision boards is to look at it, not just once a year, but to look at it literally every day. And I talk about the science about vision boards, why actually being able to look at them, to be specific as you detailed as you can about your actual vision, whether it's a dream house, a dream job, a dream client, a dream figure, dream income, dream car, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. Maybe you want to be like the bestseller on the bestsellers list on the front, like display at Barnes and Nobles, or you want to go somewhere like climb Mount Fuji. That's what I wanted to do. And so I have a picture of me and my family, and I photoshopped us at the top of Mount Fuji because that's where I want to hike with me, my son, and my husband at some point. And so that was what I meant when I'm talking about being more visual, in terms of the vision board. And I got to keep looking back because I can't tell where I'm supposed to be looking at comments if people can't comment. I have no idea. Nobody's looking right now, so we're good. I'm just going to keep talking and hopefully this is recording. because it says finished. So I'm hoping. I'm hoping Ecamm will come through for me. So, anyways, I wanted to show you guys. So, a couple things because I have my notes just to make sure that I don't miss anything. But essentially, just to reiterate what I talk about in my podcast. Sorry, I got to scroll up to see my actual notes. How y'all doing? I hope you're doing fantastic. If you're watching this at some point, whether it's the replay or you're watching it while I'm doing this live, like I'd love to know if you're a vision board type of person. Um, because again, I have done all the different vision boards, but again, you have to find what works for you. And some people do like the traditional way of cutting it and stuff. I feel the same way doing it this way. So, um, anyways, so the main thing with a visual digital vision board, the reason I went digital is because again, I can easily like update it, especially as like my goals and dreams become even more defined and clear, as well as it's kind of, environmentally better because I'm not I do print out a piece of paper to put in my planner, but I'm not sitting there like subscribing to thousands of magazines or cutting up a bunch of paper because that takes time. And I'm like, I'm busy. Like I got a 2-year-old. I'm running like 3 businesses. I volunteer, as with my husband's unit and supporting the spouses and all this stuff. So I was like, I don't got time to sit there anymore. I'd love to do it. I don't mind the crafting part because you guys know I love crafting, but I just, there's other things that I could be doing at this point. So clarity is key. I talked about that in the podcast. The visual part of it is to really help your mind because you think in pictures. And I learned this from Jim Quick, my brain coach. And when you can identify and connect your vision with something visual, that's where your brain needs to go because then your brain, it's the way it processes information and it cannot distinguish like fiction from reality. So when it sees a picture of you photoshopped on top of Mount Fuji, it's like, okay, it's happened. How, like it's done, like that exists. It's a reality now. How do we make it happen? And so by looking at your goals every day, especially from a vision standpoint, because we're not talking about like small goals, like I need to be able to like, you know, self-care once a day and drink 8 glasses of water. Those are more like habits. These are like big vision goals. I want to become a millionaire. I want to be a 7-figure wellness woman entrepreneur. I want to have more time. I want to be able to do it with working only 10 hours a week. I want to own beachfront property. I want to be a children's illustrator, bestseller, book. I want to be one of the most well-known, like I'm just, putting stuff out there, but like, I don't know. I want to be the most sought out doula, for speaking and, engagements, or I want to run a doulaship school and have it be one of the most, sought out ones or whatever it is. Like maybe you're a doula and maybe want to become a midwife. Those are the things like big dreams, and the bigger you can go the better. Like if it's something that it doesn't make you feel uncomfortable, then you're probably not dreaming big enough, and you need to spend some time actually looking at it every day. So statistically, well, like not statistically, it's more of like a habit. um, they looked at the habits and rituals of things that millionaires and billionaires did. And one of the things that they notice is that millionaires look at their goals and dreams once a day, billionaires look at them twice a day. And I said something along those lines in my podcast, but I think I like said 3 times a day for billionaires, which could be true if some of them do look at it. But again, the concept is that the more you look at your goals, the better, essentially. And then stay open. Okay, so this is like a roadmap. And so you need to stay open to the possibilities of how this stuff will happen. So, we might have this specific, like, this is how it's going to happen. you're not worried about the how or the when. You're worried in your vision board when you're creating it about what it is that you want. Okay. How it happens and when it happens, like it's great to have goals and stuff, but you're not focused on that. Okay. So I'm going to move over to my screen share. And I'm first going to show you mine for a second. So now this is the one that I just showed you that's in my actual planner, because I think it's easier for you to have, so to speak, like some visual reference before you dive into it to your own. And so this is what I have for myself. Again, you make it what it is. What you want it. So like I want oceanfront property, and I used to have a different picture here. So this is kind of what I just updated my 2024 and then recreated this, used the same template and moved some stuff around, added some stuff for my 2025. I was like, this is what I want to look at. This is what I want to be able to sit down and enjoy my coffee and look at. Okay. Publishing my first children's illustration book. Sure, one day maybe I want to be a well-known, illustration book, but I want to just at least try and publish my first one. Okay. And self-publish. I'm not trying to do anything crazy this year because it's a big year for my family from a moving standpoint and stuff. I still want to be a millionaire. I want to be a seven-figure business wellness coach, and be a female one at that. I want to be a booked out photographer because you guys know I'm starting my iPhone photography to kind of help bridge the gap for people who are needing professional or semi-professional branding photography on a budget, because I've been there. I want to have sold out online courses. I want to run my first successful, yoga or wellness retreat. I wrote myself a check for $200,000. I want to make my first six figures this year. I want to be able to travel. And so this is actually, I kept it pretty much from last year, except for the fact that I actually wrote down the places themselves, because before it was just the pictures and I was like, what is that? Is that Italy? Is that Spain? I was like, oh man, I don't remember which one this is. So I added more graphics and I actually wrote down so that visually I could be like, okay, how am I getting to Bali? Like, brain, let's do this. I want to be a booked out website designer. I, again, want to be a millionaire. I want to have a publishing contract at some point. I want to be a booked out kids yoga teacher, which technically I already am. But I want to continue that in 2024, the 2025, because of the fact that I know I'm moving this year to a new space where I have no idea where it is. And I want to be able to rebuild what I have here like instantaneously. I want to inspire people. I want to get on stage. I want to be invited to speak in more speaking engagements. Um, my word for this year was empower. And so I want to be the most successful online stand-up paddleboard instructor. I want to be fabulous, fierce, and you know, or fearless, fierce, and fabulous. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Fat, fabulous, and fierce. And so this gives you some sense of what I'm talking about. And then this was just my third one. So mine is front to back, and I have four of them. And some of it is just to reiterate some of the stuff over and over and maybe a different view. Again, most successful seven-figure woman-owned SaaS agency. I want to have more family time. I want to one day maybe do a run, have like a fashion show for like modern day women. Again, more family time, more adventures. I want to learn how to surf. I tried before we left Hawaii, but I only had one lesson, so it wasn't enough time. Um, I want to be a public speaking superstar. I want to get on more stages. I want to inspire and empower more people. And I want to continue to grow my own vegetables. I want to have a garden that's thriving. So this one's mine. This is y'all's. So I created you guys a little, zoom out a little bit, a little template so that you can use this, a step-by-step guide to achieving your biggest dreams without feeling overwhelmed. So if you haven't watched this YouTube video, hopefully it's recording, if otherwise I'm gonna have to redo it. You have this for yourself. It gives you just congratulations. This is what it is. This is how you do it. And so there's the same 4 pages that I just showed you. I just gave it to you a little bit different. So I have some people just learn differently. This one, there is no pictures. And essentially, I wanted to make sure you guys understood how to make this happen. So I'm going to show you in a minute. So I left you like this is where you would type in a desire you want, and this is where you would type in a specific goal. You can change this. This is just text block. And then these spaces, this is where you fill it in with your own elements, however you want. This one, again, a different layout. And this is the same picture repeated over and over. Maybe you want to create a theme for your thing. And then again, you can duplicate this by putting this button with the 2 pages of paper on Canva, if you're not familiar with Canva. And you can just duplicate this. You can make it bigger by dragging this here if it's too small for you. And you can add more elements if you like have a famous quote or a quote that you have yourself written or created. This is a great way to do it. And then this is a different one where I just give you different pictures. Proclaim who you want to be. This one's a place for desires, 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 desires. And then just this was really more pictures that I chose to kind of ignite some like dream big, dream big, dream big. It's like the overall message I wanted you to make sure you got. And then again, this one, like what goals do you have? What desires do you have? This is an element actually, so you can delete that if it doesn't come through. And declare a big dream and make this big if you need to. You can just use this little, once you hover over the little dot, you can make that big or not big. So this was your starting point. I gave some elements that I used in mine that are free in Canva. Again, just to give you some idea. So you would come here to elements, essentially, if you wanted to change this. So the way you change these photos, whether it's the one that's blank, these are frames just like this one. Some people visually need to see it this way. So when you're in your elements, if you're using the free version, just make sure you're only using free elements. So let's just say, like I said, you want a beach house like me. You can't have my beach house, but you can have, ooh, luxury beach house. What's that like? Let's just look. So you do want to do photos. You can do graphics too. Oh shit, that's nice. Woohoo! That's nice. Okay, if you want to dream big, go ahead. That could be your dream big. So this is the distinguishing thing though. If you don't have the paid version of Canva, do not use anything with a crown. You will have to come here to these 3 little lines, click on it, scroll down and go to the free, and then click out of it. And these are all free images. So maybe this is what you want. Maybe this is where you want to go for your next vacation. This is what you want the inside of your house to look like. Like whatever it is, you would just find one that's like, there, that's me. That's where I want to live. Like that's luxury right there. That's not me. You want to live this close to the beach. Like you want to maybe one board to be all about your beach house because that is what your main goal is. You're going to click on it, drag it over, and you will just plop it in, cover it over the image that you want to use like this. Maybe you want this one. I'm literally just dragging it, and as soon as it like clicks in and you see it manifest into this own little block, I let go from the mouse pad. Okay, so that is how you change it. This is the template. I don't want to mess it up. And the same thing with these. Anything where you see a picture, that picture can be, you know, see, you can move it however you want. These are all replaceable. All you're doing is hovering over it. And that is basically how you do it. If you want to put in dates, that would work better because then you have some reference. Again, SMART goals, everybody knows, most people know what SMART goals are. They need to be measurable. So it's nice to, like, you don't want to just one day I'm going to get a beach house. Like, try to give yourself a realistic, like maybe in 5 years, maybe you're doing really well and that's still a stretch for you right now, but it's definitely something possible if you kind of double your income over the next 2 years to be able to afford your dream beach house. Maybe it doesn't need to be your dream beach house, it just needs to be a beach house or a summer beach house. And you got to look at your own situation, your own like finances, and like think, that would be really a stretch. if I could do it in this amount of time. Because again, you want to still challenge yourself. If you give yourself eternity, then it's never going to, like, that's not how this works. Because there needs to be some timeline. It just, it needs to be realistic. But again, even if you can't wrap your mind around being a 7-figure business owner, hell, being a 5-figure business owner, you're making like $50 a month, and you're like, Kanagani, that is insane. I can't even, like, I wouldn't even know what to do with all that money if I made 5 figures a year. That's okay. You can still put 6 figures. Like, don't be like, I can't even imagine it, like, in my mind how that would happen. I'm not going to put it down. That's not what this is. You do need to put yourself out of that comfort zone. Those are the dreams that you want, but like, oh, that's scary. It makes me have some anxiety thinking about how the heck am I going to figure out how to make 6 figures, you know, a, a year. That's crazy, because then you start calculating how much would that be a month. Oh my God, whoa, there's no way. How many, like, no, don't go down that rabbit hole. Don't overthink it. Dream big. If anything, if like it, just let yourself think like you have a genie in the bottle. This is your genie, and it's asking you how many, you can have as many wishes as you can, as you want. Go big. Do not go small, and do not overthink it. That's not the purpose of this, okay? So that is pretty much how I do it. And so I was hoping, hold on, I'm trying to think this is it. Yeah, I'm back. I am hoping that that helped, and that you enjoy. There's a link in the Facebook group. That's the intention. I have no idea where this is streaming. It's supposed to only be streaming in the Facebook group. So I'm hoping that's what happens. However, if everything worked out the way it was supposed to, this should save. I'm using Ecamm. I'm still learning how to do it. I know how to use Ecamm. I love it. I use it for all kinds of stuff, especially like for my courses and things. But live is a whole nother ball game. And so bear with me. I am trying to like figure this out, because I want to be able to deliver content this way, because I figured it is just easier for me this way. I get it done, share the knowledge with you, because that's the whole point of why I started Empower Her Wave Agency, why I started my Heart and Hustle CEO Academy YouTube channel, because I needed a space where I could really, I have a plethora. I am digesting information right and left about marketing and CRMs and SEO and AI, website design, all these things. And I'm like, oh, who can I share this with? Because it is so amazing, and it is helping me so much in my own businesses, that I figured, who's being left behind? My sister in arms, my doulas, my midwives, my lactation consultants, my pelvic floor specialists, my heart led women entrepreneurs who lead with empathy, compassion, are afraid to ask for money for their services because they would love nothing other than to give their services for free, but they have a family and they need to feed themselves too. And even then, knowing that they have to survive, and what they get is how they feed themselves and their family, they still have such a hard time asking for money, putting themselves out there. And I feel for them. My heart bleeds for them, because I know how incredibly challenging it is to keep up with everything, especially with AI rolling out. I know that there's a lot of resistance with it, but the thing about AI is that it's here. It is not going anywhere, and it is learning from users. And what I want to make sure that we, as the women wellness entrepreneurs of the world, know is that it is our responsibility to make sure that we are part of that learning process for the AI, because we are the compassionates. We are, humanity's the good versions of humanity that we want to make sure gets instilled in these AI platforms, so that they take that as they're starting to learn and advance. We need to be able to teach them the good part of humanity, because if we leave it to anybody, then that's where we're in trouble and we should be scared. So please, I hope you guys join me. I have my free community. I'm going to be doing more lives in there. I'm going to be giving you guys more free templates as I'm creating them. There is so much bank in my back pocket of things that I want to share. And I'm hoping that you guys join me for the ride, especially the people that are in, you know, in the mud with me, because, I am still currently teaching pre and postnatal yoga. I'm teaching baby and me yoga, toddler and me yoga. I'm doing my prenatal yoga courses and all of that. I'm still in the mix. I'm talking and networking with my doulas, my midwives. I'm seeing you guys, and I want to make sure that you are basking in, I'm sharing my abundance with you guys. So stay beautiful, stay awesome, and I will catch you in the next training video, wherever this ends up. Ciao.